The Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II is the update to the G7X, and as a serious compact camera with a larger than normal 20 megapixel 1INCH sensor, it is designed to offer excellent image quality, with a bright 4.2x optical zoom lens, whilst still being pocketable. The Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II is available for around £549. Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II features. The G7X Mark II updates the original G7X, with an updated tilting touchscreen, which can now tilt down as well as up. The camera features the same 4.2x optical zoom lens as the G7X, with a bright f/1.8-2.8 aperture, and is equivalent to 24 to 100 mm in 35 mm terms. The camera can focus down to 5 cm for close-up macro shots. New features introduced with the G7X Mark II. Improved grip, front and rear. Control ring clicks can be switched off. New DIGIC 7 processor. Super fast AF speeds. 8 FPS raw shooting, 14-bit. Improved battery life, 240 shots vs 210 shots. A 20.2 megapixel BSI CMOS sensor from Sony sits in the middle of the camera, and this is BSI, backside illuminated, for improved low light performance. The camera has an ISO range of ISO 125 to ISO 12800. The camera has numerous shooting modes, include full manual controls, a custom mode, plus auto, hybrid auto, and scene modes. Wi-Fi and NFC are built in, making it possible to connect the camera to an iOS and Android smartphone or tablet. This lets you transfer images, remotely control the camera, as well as add GPS location information to images. Full HD video recording is included, and the camera offers 5-axis optical image stabilization, stereo sound, and a range of frame rate options, with the quickest available being 60 fps. You can also use the optical zoom and touch screen whilst recording video. Key features: 20.1 megapixel 1INCH BSI CMOS sensor, 4.2x optical zoom lens, f/1.8-2.8, 24 to 100 mm equivalent. Optical image stabilization, intelligent is with 5-axis advanced dynamic is. 3INCH tilting touch screen, 1040K dots. 8 FPS continuous shooting. ISO 125 to ISO 12800. Full HD video recording, 60p, stereo sound. Wi-Fi and NFC connectivity. 5 cm macro focus. 240 shot battery life. Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II handling. With an improved front and rear grip, holding onto the compact camera is much better than the previous G7X. The camera has a solid metal body, which makes the camera feel reassuringly solid and well built. The dials on the camera, which includes the mode dial, exposure compensation dial, and front control ring, are made from metal, and these feel good, with a textured surface making them grip well. The mode dial is in the middle of the exposure compensation dial, and both provide a good level of resistance so that you don't accidentally turn them, for example when taking the camera in and out of a case or pocket. The exposure compensation dial is also neatly away from the edges of the camera to make it difficult to accidentally turn this. There is a switch next to the front control ring that lets you switch on or off clicks when turning the ring. For example, so you can make silent changes to settings whilst recording video or in areas where you want to be as quiet as possible. The function of the front control ring can be quickly changed by pressing the ring FUNC button. The 4-way controller/scroll wheel has a middle Q/set button, and easy direction lets you quickly access a different option, including the drive mode, focus mode, flash settings, and info, which lets you change what is shown on screen. The built-in pop-up flash is activated by pressing the release button on the left-hand side of the camera, and there's also a Wi-Fi logo here. There is a dedicated Wi-Fi button on the right, next to the HDMI and micro USB ports. Underneath is where you'll find the NFC point, which you can touch to a compatible Android smartphone. The screen quality is very good, with a bright clear display, and you can use this to set the focus point, as well as select options. Menus. Pressing the function button on the back of the camera brings up all of the most commonly used photo settings on screen, and it's possible to customize these so you have quicker access to your favorite settings. You can also use the touch screen to set these options as well as the main menu options. The menus are clearly laid out, with color-coded sections, and will be familiar to anyone who's used a Canon camera before. If you haven't, then there is built-in help which will give you a brief explanation of some of the options. Wi-Fi features. There is a dedicated Wi-Fi button on the right-hand side of the camera, and this activates Wi-Fi connectivity. Using the Canon Camera Window app on an iOS or iOS device makes it easy to view photos that are on the camera, set up remote shooting, or add GPS locations to images on the camera. Optical zoom and focus can be controlled remotely, as can other options, like the flash mode, for example. This can be especially useful for those who are partial to taking the odd selfie or group photograph, as the image can be composed easily using your smartphone's display. You can also use NFC to connection to compatible Android devices. Battery life. Battery life is rated at 240 shots according to Canon/CIPA test results. You can enable the Eco mode to extend battery life. Canon don't specify how long the battery lasts with Eco mode enabled, but considering 240 shots is quite low, we'd recommend using Eco mode, or purchasing a second battery. Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II Performance. The performance section is where we look at the image quality performance of the camera. Additional sample photos and product shots are available in the equipment database, where you can add your own review, photos, and product ratings. Speed. We took a number of shots to test the camera's responsiveness, from switch on to first photo, shot to shot, focusing speed, etc. We take a number of shots and then use the average to ensure accurate and consistent tests, making it easy to compare with other cameras. Focus and shutter response are both fast, and slightly faster than the G7X the camera replaces. It's possible to shoot up to 30 shots in continuous shooting mode, at 8 fps when shooting JPEG images, and we managed to shoot 21 shots when shooting RAW, although the camera then took 23 seconds to clear the image buffer before we could review the images. Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II Verdict. The Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II is a good update to the G7X with the same 4.2x optical zoom lens, which features a bright f/1.8-2.8 aperture, and the Mark II offers improved noise performance, and excellent image quality, along with handling improvements, thanks to additional grip, and a more flexible tilting screen that can tilt down as well as up. The camera is also quicker, shooting at 8 fps, with a good buffer size to allow for more shots before slowdown. When we reviewed the original G7X, we complained about the loud click from the front lens ring, and this can now be switched on or off on the G7X Mark II depending on how you want to use the camera. There has also been a slight improvement in battery life, although switching on Eco mode is recommended to extend the battery life, as it is still a little short at 240 shots normally. The G7X Mark II delivers excellent images, but there will be those tempted by the G5X, which is just a little more money, and offers a built-in electronic viewfinder and vari-angle screen. However, If you don't want the additional size of the camera, and want a compact camera with a larger than normal 1-inch sensor, and a longer zoom than most other series compacts, then the G7X Mark II certainly delivers high image quality and rapid speed. With Wi-Fi and NFC built in, there is very little lacking from the G7X Mark II, and it's easy to transfer images, as well as control the camera with your smartphone remotely. The Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II would make an excellent choice for those that don't want to take a bigger camera with them, but also don't want to compromise on image quality or control.